to the channel. If you're new, you're welcome. Just want to do a quick video today, or this evening actually. I just wanted to do it at short notice, but something came up today. I was looking at one or two things on YouTube, as you do, and some facts came out that I found out by just sheer chance of things and stuff. The BBC are in a right mess, a right crisis, because they've got figures out at roughly 75,000 people a month. The last few months, or 10 months anyway. I've got the figures there, I'll put them up shortly, but they're roughly losing about 75,000 people a month who are cancelling the licence. 70,000 maybe between that and that kind of figure. 60,000 some weeks, some months rather, but it's all on record there by my website. But I found this out, but the point was, whether it's good news or bad, it's not really good or bad news, because they can't fund a situation like that anymore. It's got to change, because BBC are running out of money, because obviously the last 10 months or so it's going to be like £100 million they're losing. It's about £12 million a month for 75,000, roughly speaking. That's 11 to 20, over £10 million, put it that way. And the last 10 months it's over 100 million. And it's a big chunk of people, and that's only an estimate of what they've actually told the people have cancelled that they know about. There's other people who are not paying, who just don't blank them off. So the figures are really not accurate enough, really, but that's what they can state anyway. But at the same time, obviously, they can't carry on because they're living in the past anyway. People over the years now, not just my channel, but other channels like Chili John's channel, the Mr. Hot Pot, the Walkabout 76 people, other people really who are on YouTube. And people have got the message that you don't have to pay. If you're not watching, you're not paying. That's my motto. And I think the penny's beginning to drop with people. Not to fear the BBC, not to rush out and go and get your license if they get letters and stuff like that, and the letters are no consequence. They don't fear you. If you get a knock on the door and it's TV license, you know what to say to them. You just say, no, thank you very much, goodbye, and shut the door. You don't have to give them any access to your property, but I wouldn't advise blanking them off from a property. You know, they got the right to come and knock on your door. They're just salesmen, that's all they are. But I wouldn't go to the experience of sort of blanking them off completely from your property. But people have done that. But like I said before, the penny is beginning to drop with people, and of course the BBC now are in a crisis because they're losing losing revenue, so they're going to have to sort of think of something else. Like I've been saying a long time on this channel, it's time for them to sort of think of subscription, think of another way of earning money, not just having state income. 4 billion, that's 25 million households, 25 million households, and of course it's 75,000 people a year, sorry, a month, sorry, 75,000 a year. If you multiply it by 10 in a year, you know, 10 times, 12 times, you're looking at nearly 1 million people a year are not watching or not paying. So that monopoly is going to end. They've got the monopoly. They'll have to work out a plan that they could do advertising, like the snooker I've just been pointing out in my last video. They're advertising there. They're using the company. They must be getting kickbacks on that somehow. It's indirect advertising. So what's happening now is the BBC are in a situation where they've got to come to terms with the future of social media, where people are watching television, where people are getting all the information from. They've got to cut back on a lot of things because I said they're losing money. £100 million is a lot of money to lose in 12 months, or 12 million pound. If it averages £12 million a month, they're losing income coming in. It's like any shopkeeper. If nobody's coming into your shop, you're not selling anything, are you? So it's simple arithmetic. Basically, the money's not coming. And of course, another thing, obviously, Gary, on his wages, the big fat wages for doing half an hour's work, them days will be over when the football, the Premier League, will have their own media channel to pay a subscription for, so that you can watch your favourite team on a Saturday afternoon. So that if you can't get to the match, and this is going to be worldwide, of course, anywhere in the country or worldwide, you can pay probably £7 or £8 a month to have your own team to watch your team play in the Premier League or Championship or whatever division. And of course, all the money and revenue goes straight back into the football. It's not been taken off, skimmed off by Sky. That Sky are going to lose the contract, BT lose the contract. Other things like, the revenue that they get from advertising, the Football League will get all that revenue, pass it down onto other parts of the game. So that's, things have changed, and so that's why I say, Gary, the match of the day is not going to be around for long. If the rumours are saying that the Premier League will not renew any more contracts, and they'll do it their own way. They have their own Netflix style of football, the Netflix of football. That meaning that your favourite team you can watch on a Saturday afternoon. The revenue they get, the clubs will probably be, you can still go to the game and watch the game live, in the ground. There'll still be people who want to do that, but there's people who live all over the country. Like I said, if you living in Scotland, you support Spurs, Tottenham or something, and you can't get down to the game. For a fee, you can watch the game, live. No buffering, no, completely on the internet legally, and you can watch the game, and that's what's going to go. So, match of the day is on their way out. So, all this stuff has got to change, and BBC have to wake up and come to the conclusion that they have to have another system, which is subscription. The iPlayer is one way of sorting it, and have the money to do that, to get that off the ground, and they'll have to wake up. And the next round of the 2027 is coming, when their charter's renewed, and they'll have to think about it, because they'll realise, and I'm just putting the message across, that if another 75,000 people a month, that's 2 years, that's nearly 2 million people have stopped paying the licence. That's another £200 million, nearly £300 million of loss of income. It's a big chunk out of their they can't keep asking government to bail them out and to give us more money, and all the taxes and the fancy dues they have, and the probably another thing like the all the people who have on the gravy train, on the board of directors of the BBC and stuff like this. They have to cut back everywhere. Like I say, I'm been hearing about orchestras and all the funding for different things. Radio will have to cut back. So they're going to have to cut back a hell of a lot. And unless they wake up and say, right, we need to go to privatisation, maybe sell the BBC. The government will sell it to the highest bidder and have some stake in it. So it may be privatised like the BT days, the gas, when gas government sold off the gas companies. So there comes a time when it's no longer a viable thing, because the public, like myself, I've not paid for 4 years. I'm on my 6th year now, and that's legally, because I've rang them up and told them I don't watch. Now, it doesn't really matter which way you do it. It's up to you if you want to ring up. If you're new here and you've just seen this video and you want to cancel, and you don't want to watch BBC, you want to save yourself nearly £200, because that's what they'll have to get, because of all this losing of the income coming in. The BBC will put it up to £200, which I've been saying for a while now. We'll try and get not just an inflation increase, which is probably about 15 quid. They'll want some money because they're losing customers. Like I said, people are realising they don't have to pay the TV licence. If they're not watching, they're not paying. So, folks, it's gone on a bit long, but it's breaking kind of news I have heard from. I'm trying to remember the guy who one of his channels. I may try and leave a link for him later. Um, I'm just trying to think of the guy's name. I saw it today on his website, which is great, and I did give him some information, about it on my channel. I would like to pass it on, because that's where you get everything yourself you need to know on social media, not the BBC. It's a outdated dad's army of people who are running it, and they're on the gravy train. But I did say once a while back the gravy train would be coming to a halt, and there's people like myself who are just pointing things out what you can do. People like Great Chili John's channel, a great channel who tells you what to say and what to do. Other people, like I said, the Watch About Observer 76, which I'm associated with them. So we're all trying to pass on what you can do. So the sooner people realise, not the BBC realise, people are realising now that the scaremongering and the detector vans, which never existed, they're just butty vans. So, folks, people are becoming more aware, and the door-to-door selling, people on the door who come knocking on your door once you've cancelled it, it's not your fault anyway. It's coming into your house. It's like Netflix, not blasting it out and saying, right, we're coming round to collect our money now. You've been watching it for a month and we want our money. BBC are just blasting it out and blasting out programmes, which are mostly repeats. A lot of it's repeats. Okay, there's some good programmes. Don't get me wrong, I'm not having a go at the people who work for the BBC and some of the programmes they made. They made some good stuff. Some, journalistic and documentary film. They're great, but there comes a point when there's other things you can watch where else, the same kind of content, as good as content, and what the BBC are producing. So it's just common sense that people will not pay anymore and know what they can do. They can say, well, when they come to the door, they just say no thanks, and because they've got no detection valve, they've got no way of detecting you unless you tell them or tell them a 178 form. Never sign anything on the scanners. If they come with a scanner to your front door, never sign a scanner. Never sign anything. Never answer them if they come to the door. Just say, no, I don't watch anymore. Thank you very much. Goodbye. And that's all you need to do, folks, because it's coming into your house, whether you want it. Well, I haven't got access to it myself, but most people have got an aerial by some means or whatever coming into the house if they can, if they've got an air on the roof. I haven't got an air on the roof, but the point is some people have an aerial, they have a wire and it's coming in, terrestrial television. And of course with the iPlayer you have to sign in for that, and of course then you do that without have a license, then you're liable to get fined. But the point has come now, it's reached a breaking point where to get information about the BBC, what's going on, and this is new to me today. It's 75,000, roughly around 11 to 12 12 million pounds they're losing. We'll just say 10 million. So that's 120 million a year. The charter's due in 2027, so they're going to be down in their payments. They may have to borrow money to pay for programmes to be made, stuff like this, and they've got other means of dipping into other things, like I told you, BBC Studios and stuff like that. But these people need paying, and when there's no money coming in, or because their lifestyle is that they can pay Gary Lineker, great 1.8 million pound, that's going to go, and they're going to try and cut back on all the kind of wages and stuff. That's what you have to do if you've got no revenue coming in. So anyway, I just thought I'd let you know, if you license free like Inspector C, well done, because as I said before, there'll be something changing shortly, and nothing to do with me. I'm only just not watching. I've got other things I'm quite interested in without worrying about the BBC, apart from like the snooker this next couple of weeks. The snooker's on. But like I said, that's unfortunate that you get good programmes. There is good programmes, but the point is, as I said before, if you're not watching, you're not paying, and nothing they can do about it when they come knocking on your door. And that's the day has come. It's coming, and it's more or less arriving shortly that they're waking up, because this can't carry on, losing so many people. And of course, what I'm doing is only letting you know what you can do, and you can still watch it if you want to blank them off and still watch it. It's up to you. I'm not in condoning anybody who does it, but I don't watch. But you know, the penny will drop with the BBC one day that they've lost lost the game. You know, they've lost it, and they've in a crisis, because people, like I was saying, if you ring up and cancel your license tomorrow, cancel their direct debit, say I'm not watching, then they'll realise, because like I say, 70,000 people roughly a month are doing what I'm saying. Not me, my what for my influence, but for loads of other people or themselves just not watching anymore, not paying anymore, especially because it's £200. So anyway, folks, that's the thing. You know, if you ring up and tell them, they'll be panicking, because I said they'll have to have a plan before 2027. They'll have to sort something out by then when the charter renews, because they'll have to go on advertisements. That's what they'll do. They'll just make terrestrial television become adverts. Anyway, folks, a bit of a rant and a bit of a chat, but I hope you see the figures there, and the figures are not lying, because they're genuine figures. So I've been told they're genuine figures. So you know, it's a lot of money to be losing. It's not, it's not a couple of £1 million, a year or something. It's a lot of money a month, which is revenue that they need to pay. And of course, everything's costing now. Everything's going up. So everybody wants more wages and stuff like that. The cost of living. So they're on the loser. Anyway, folks, thanks again for all the new people who've subscribed to my channel. I hope you get, if you're thinking about becoming license free, don't worry about it, because I say on the front door, that's where the battlefield is, on the front door. You know what to say to them. They come knocking. No, thank you very much. Goodbye. Do not sign anything. You've got a scanner there, and he said, "Oh, can you just sign this?" And I say, "You're not watching BBC. You just sign that. Don't sign nothing what they tell you to sign or whatever. You don't have to just sign nothing." That's where people get caught out. If you sign for something, but you don't need to sign for anything. Just say, "No, thank you very much. Goodbye." And like I said, that's all you need to do. And maybe in 2 years' time, the penny will drop. That's door-to-door selling isn't working. And Capita, you won't be getting £456 million again off the tax, off you people out there, license payers. You won't be paying Capita to come and collect it. All the non-payment of licenses, but they won't be paying them on a commission and harassing you by letters coming to your house every month. So that'll change. Anyway, folks, I will see you in the next one, and thanks again for liking, and hit the subscribe button if you wish. Give us a like. With that like, obviously this message can get across to more and more people, and that's what it's all about with YouTube. I found the information today, and I'm just passing it on to you. So sorry, I can't remember the guy's name who made the video I knew all this about. I can't remember him offhand, but I'll try and leave it, the video made, and so you can watch it yourself some other time. Anyway, folks, I'm going to leave it there, and I will see you again on the next one. Bye now. Bye.